Peaking in high school is probably one of the worst things that can happen to a human being. I mean, you go from feeling like you're on top of the world, nothing can stop you, you're invincible. You go from that to working at McDonald's or some other dead end job because you really didn't have any goals or aspirations after high school. Since graduating from high school in 2024, I've had time to reflect on just everyone that I knew in high school and how they've been. And for the most part, everyone I knew has been doing pretty good. They're learning new things about themselves, they're getting into relationships, they're finding out what they want to do with their lives. And that's all really good shit. But then you have that small group of people that since leaving high school have either stayed the complete same or have just gotten worse. Like way worse. And that's what I want to talk about today. The art of peaking in high school. In this video, I have 9 examples I'm going to show to prove my point as to how people can peak in high school. This is probably going to be my longest video yet, so I really appreciate it if you would just sit down, watch the video all the way through, give a nice little like, subscribe if you feel like it, but most importantly, just enjoy the video for what it is. A critical take on peaking in high school. Starting with number 1, we got okay, this is probably the most common one you always see in your high school. Star athlete, everyone thinks is gonna go to like a D1 college and play ball and get drafted to like, the NBA or the NFL. But one of 2 things always happen with these guys. 1, they go to college and they tear their ACL or get a career-ending injury, and next thing you know, they end up being some high school gym teacher. Or 2, they just never went to college because they didn't do anything outside of high school regarding their sport, or they were dumb as shit, or just all the above. Out of all the examples I have for today, this has to be the most disappointing. Now, obviously, if you tear your ACL, if you get a career-ending injury while you're playing in college, then yeah, that's just bad luck, my guy. You're gonna have to get a degree and have to get a real job, Yeah, that's where I said it. I said job. It's specifically the athletes to do the bare fucking minimum when it comes to actually like playing their sport and getting their name out there and making sure they get a scholarship. That's what pisses me the fuck off. Especially nowadays, when you literally have social media to do that for you, and you don't do shit. It's just so fucking annoying to me. Like, they literally just coast the entirety of high school, just playing, thinking that, I bet if I just play for my school, and if I just do really good on my high school basketball team or football team, that someone will have to give me a scholarship. No. Literally, it's so fucking easy. Just fucking get a Max Press account if you have to, but put your name out there. These scouts and recruiters are not gonna know who the fuck you are unless you're doing that. So aside from the people that get injured while playing in college and literally do not have any other option but to get a degree and just retire from that sport, I do not feel bad for these dumbass idiots who sit on their fucking ass and just coast through high school playing that fucking sport, thinking if they just play hard enough that they'll get a fucking scholarship out of thin air. No, they're not getting a fucking pass from me, okay? They're getting a stare of shame if I ever see their ass walk in my fucking direction. So if you're a high school athlete and you're really serious about playing ball, I would suggest you start promoting yourself on social media. Like, put your name out there. Make sure these recruiters are coming to your fucking games and watching you play. Not your teammate, not somebody else on that fucking field or court. You specifically, all right? With all that out the way, let's look at number 2. Student council aside, every high school had 1 or 2 people that are really serious about getting into politics after high school. I'm talking about going to college, getting a political science degree, being very active in their communities, speaking up against like what they think should happen for the world and for the state, or wherever they're at, stuff like that. They're just really serious about being involved in the politics of their country, which I respect it. With as many corrupt politicians as there are nowadays, it is genuinely a breath of fresh air when there is a politician that genuinely gives a fuck about the people. And these high school politicians most definitely give a fuck about the people because they're with the people every fucking day. I mean, these are the kind of people that literally post in their story all the time talking about what's going on in the world, what Trump has done this week, what political or climate thing is going on in the world right now, stuff like that. They're always talking about stuff like that. And you know what? I love to read it. It's genuinely interesting. And it definitely beats, a first trap or a half-naked post or some other bullshit that you usually see on an Instagram story. Despite all these positive things about high school politicians, most of these guys will go to college and just completely switch what they want to do with their lives, Like, they'll go in thinking they want to get a political science degree and be a politician, but eventually they realize how corrupt politicians are, or they just realize that maybe it's not their calling to be a politician. They don't want to get too public with their opinions, and they just divert, which is perfectly fine. I mean, people switch their majors like all the time in college. That and the fact that most high school politicians are all bark and no bite. I mean, they'll post all they want about what's going on in the world, talking about someone has to do something to stop it or prevent it or make the world a better place. And then when they get the opportunity to actually do something, they bitch out. Like most of the time, they'll just bitch out and pretend like they didn't say what they said, when in reality, they really did. And you have receipts of that shit too, because they posted it on their fucking story. So to summarize this little example here, high school politicians, while they are like positive things to have in your high school, don't take them too seriously, because they can be one way this day and the next day be the complete opposite about an opinion they have on something. Number 3. I feel like this one specifically applies to Gen Z, but yes, there are probably a bunch of SoundCloud rappers at your high school that had dreams of making it big, being as big as Drake or Kendrick, stuff like that. And see, there's nothing wrong with being an artist, because nowadays, anyone can be an artist as long as you have the fan base for it. But with these specific SoundCloud rappers, they tend to have music that isn't that good. Like it's actually just ass, like dog shit, fucking garbage. Fucking atrocious, terrible, horrible music that should never, ever be heard by anyone. The ones I'm talking about will literally drop a song and hype it up saying that it's like the best song they've ever made, and it will literally just sound like a fucking 5-year-old made it, This is what it sounds like. That's basically it. That's basically what the fuck their song sounds like, and it pisses me the fuck off. Like, if you're gonna go out of your way to find a beat to rap on, and find a mic to record on, and find a software to do all this shit on, and then you come out with that piece of shit, garbage ass song, at that point, just hang up the headset, because you're not making it in the music industry at all. Don't even think about posting that shit on social media, because you're gonna get fucking clowned by everyone and their mom. Sorry, I got a little passionate back there, but basically, to the SoundCloud rappers that actually sound like ass whenever they rap, yeah, just stop. Just fucking stop. Stop killing my fucking airdrops! Alright, number 4. I would also call this one the devil in disguise. But basically, the one guy or girl in high school that seems like really nice on the outside, super helpful, just super cheerful, super positive about life in general. Yeah, those people in reality are probably just bad people pretending to be nice so that they can get away with whatever the fuck they want. Now, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer and say that every goody two-shoes is a bad person on the inside, because that is definitely not the case. There are plenty of good people out there in high school that genuinely just want to be good people and help everyone out and just be the best person they can be and inspire other people to be that as well. And I really applaud that. I honestly do, because we need more people like that nowadays, especially with the trend nowadays that being a bad person is cool, or just being an asshole to people is cool, which I don't get how that trend started. But basically, if you think it's cool to be an asshole, you might just be fucking stupid. Like, I'm not gonna cap, you might actually be the dumbest person in the world. But back to the goody two-shoes people. Some of these goody two-shoes are genuinely just bad people. And you won't see that in high school, obviously, because, they have the mask up, they have to be like this nice person in front of everybody. But watch right after y'all graduate. That same person is gonna show their true colors and start being a dick. You're gonna hear stories about them being an asshole to people that they knew back in high school, or just getting into trouble, or just being a menace to society. And the teachers and the principals, the people at your high school that knew these people and saw them like every day, they're gonna be surprised, or they're just not gonna believe you, because all they're gonna see is that little goody two-shoes that used to give them apples every fucking morning. So I would say for goody two-shoes, just make sure you know that they're a good person. If you gotta do some research to figure that out, I encourage you to do that research now before you have to do it later, because let me tell you, it is not a pretty thing to see a goody two-shoes turn to a fucking asshole. Number 5. Unless they become a comedian after high school, most class clowns usually fall off. It's just facts. Like, most people really don't give a fuck about a class clown in college, because it's not a needed thing in college. Most people in college are just trying to get for the day and go home, or go party, or just go do whatever the fuck they want. They're not really looking for someone to go out of their way and try to make people laugh, because unless you're a prankster, it's probably not gonna make them laugh. It's just gonna make them look at you funny, cringe, and then walk away and carry on with whatever the fuck they were doing before. That and most funny people are just using humor as a way to cope with their depression or whatever the fuck they're going through in their personal lives. So usually in college, they'll probably try to fix that by going to therapy or just, really looking deep into themselves and seeing what's wrong with them, stuff like that. They're not really that focused on being funny, which is a good thing. They're getting help. So class clowns are essentially useless in college. And if you want to be a class clown in college, I would highly suggest that you don't, because God forbid you go out there and try to tell a joke to somebody and they fucking laugh in your face and just walk away. Negative aura plus ultra. Number 6. Now, whether you want to admit it or not, every high school had that one guy that was always like the main plug when it came to drugs, Like he was the main guy you would go to every time you needed weed or something else. Mostly weed though. The thing with these drug dealers though is that they'll graduate and basically just disappear because they made so much fucking money during high school just selling drugs that they can basically just do whatever the fuck they want, They can go to college, they can go travel the country. They're basically just free. And you know what? I respect it. Now, obviously, I'm never gonna sell drugs. Obviously, fuck no. Like, it'd be a terrible idea, Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if the money is good in there. No, never at all. Nah. And I'm not saying I condone drug dealing in schools, but whether you like it or not, it's gonna happen in the background. And you know what? I respect them for getting their money. I mean, with all the ways you can get money nowadays, drug dealing is definitely up there because it is profitable. Now, obviously, you shouldn't be doing it in schools because if you get caught, you're fucked. But it is profitable. And if you're a good drug dealer, you're gonna make a fuck ton of money in high school, and then when you graduate, you can basically just do whatever the fuck you want. You'll be free from any financial worry ever again. So while I strongly advise that you don't sell drugs in schools, because YouTube will kick my ass if I suggest that you do, make sure if you do that you give me a discount. I mean that you don't get caught. Obviously that you don't get caught. You stay silent with that. You gotta keep it low key. You know what I'm saying? Number 7. I don't know if this is just a me thing, but I feel like every high school has that random set of people that you just never see again after you graduate. Like you guys will graduate, take that big class picture, and then just go on your different paths of life, and then you'll just never see those people again. You'll never even hear about them again, unless you really dig deep and do some research about them, which most of the time when you do that, you usually just learn that they haven't really done anything, or they became really shitty people. But it's like, even when you were in high school with them, it didn't really feel like they were there, It's like, obviously, you're gonna think of yourself as the main character in high school, and your friends the side characters. But there were generally just people in high school that you just don't really remember after high school. Hell, you don't remember when they were in high school with you, because they were just there, man. They were just in the background. They weren't doing shit. I mean, it's like they were people. They did have lives, but to your knowledge, you just really didn't give a shit. You really didn't care enough about them to actually, acknowledge they were there. And me personally, I feel bad that I just saw them as NPCs and didn't really, get to know them as people. But on the other hand, I graduated, so I really don't give a shit anymore. That, and you're gonna meet a lot of people in life that you're probably not gonna remember like that because you just don't give a fuck about them. And it's okay. People come and go all the time in life. That's something I had to learn in high school. And you know what? I'm glad I did. Because those NPCs, I don't give a shit. Number 8. The down bad kids are exactly what you think they are. Just down bad, horny ass kids that just can't keep it in their fucking pants. I'm talking about the people that were always talking about their favorite celebrity, just gooning to them all the fucking time, creaming over these motherfuckers, just fucking daydreaming about whatever the fuck they were thinking about doing with them. And it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. This is math class. And on top of that, these would be the same people that would publicly brag about beating their meat or flicking the bean at whatever the fuck they found horny or enticing to them. And it's like, again, shut the fuck up. We're in fucking math class. And especially the ones that are always posting those fuck-ass first shops on their Instagram pages, trying to get people to like and fucking comment something freaky. Bro, literally, Do you have nothing better to do with your fucking time than do that shit? Like, literally, you can go read a book, you can go watch a fucking TV show, you can go watch fucking One Piece for all I fucking care. But you're gonna fucking waste your time doing that bullshit and put it on my fucking feed? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. These damn bad motherfuckers piss me off so fucking much because all I ever think about is just nothing. Literally just nothing but what the fuck they can do that can give them that fucking adrenaline rush, that dopamine feeling that they're looking for. Basically, they're just thinking with their fucking dick or with their pussy. Either way, it's fucking annoying. And you wanna know what the worst part about this shit is? The fact that they're down bad in high school, and after we graduate, they're still down bad. If anything, they're even worse. Because at least back in high school, they would hide the fact that they were down bad. But now that we're out of high school and in college, they just don't give a shit. They just constantly just fucking brag about how fucking horny they are and how damn bad they are. I'm fucking sick of it. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to fucking study. You don't even talk about how fucking damn bad you are. But basically, shit, my fucking throat. Basically, stop being down bad, okay? If you were a former down baddie, then I appreciate you learning that you were weird as shit and actually getting your shit together. But if you are still a down bad person, go fuck yourself. Last but not least, we got number 9. We all knew it was coming to this, and I genuinely hate that it did. Because I really hate super singers with a fucking passion. Like, I genuinely cannot stand super singers. I think they are fucking diabolical. But this is a peak in high school video, so, you know, it did have to come to this, and I have to talk about it now. So I'm gonna give it my best effort. First of all, super singers are generally just sad to me. If you don't know, a super singer is basically just someone that basically just got held back in high school, you know? Like, they didn't graduate on time, they got held back because they didn't pass a certain class, or they're just fucking stupid. And look, I'm not gonna hate on it, okay? Because there's a lot of people that go back to high school and get their degrees. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. Me specifically, when I say super singer, I mean the people that get held back in high school and instead of just focus on, you know, graduating, they tend to focus on their fellow classmates, you know? They can be like 20 years old, you know, 20 to 25 and still in high school and still be trying to date high schoolers, which obviously is fucking weird. I'm talking about grown-ass men, you know, hold jobs, still living with their mom, all that shit, and they really want to date a fucking high schooler. Like, you can literally date someone in college, but no, you want to go date somebody that is clearly younger than you, that's a fucking minor? Like, come the fuck on, bro. Like, you can't be that fucking down bad. It's actually just sad. It's fucking diabolical. It's fucking weird. It's fucking terrible. Just fucking terrible. Super singers piss me off to my fucking core. Because you can literally go out there and find a girl your age, but instead you want to settle for a fucking minor, you sick fuck? Go fuck yourself. Like, genuinely, go fucking fuck yourself. And even after they graduate high school finally, they still want to fuck with high schoolers. Like, why? Literally, why? Why? I don't fucking get it. I don't understand their fucking thought process. You are a grown-ass man. Go fuck someone your fucking age. I just genuinely fucking hate super singers, man. I know I keep saying it, but I really hate super singers with a fucking passion. And I hope they all burn in hell. So to summarize this last example, fuck super singers. Fuck super singers. Period. As usual, guys, this has been Xavier Rants coming at you with Rants. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And if you want to give me ideas for my next video, make sure to click on that Discord link in the description and put it in the ideas channel. Other than that, adios.